How's everyone doing? I am back with more Wi-Fi battles, and today we're gonna have another battle with, once again, the mouse. This battle is actually kind of interesting. It was actually pretty cool. I was gonna say pretty good, pretty cool, so I said pretty cool. No, it's pretty cool. But yeah, he's gonna bring a team very reminiscent of when I first battled him. He had stuff like the Charizard X. He did have stuff like Clefable. He did have stuff like Latias. One of the things I don't see on this team though is actually Landorus T, which is actually kind of interesting. So hopefully without that Landorus T, I actually have a better time dealing with this damn team, because this team is actually one of those that actually gave me the biggest of problems. I'm gonna bring pretty much what I brought against Ludoslime. Only difference I think is just that I get rid of well, I had Zygarde to the team, so, and I didn't use that against Ludus, so yeah. Anyways, here I'm gonna lead off with Skarmory, and he's gonna lead off with Whisk Me Away, which is the Rotom Heat. Rotom Wash, goddammit. Sheesh, man. I keep getting that shit mixed up over and over again. It's kind of annoying. Anyways, he keeps going for Volt Switch, and he goes into Latias X. Latias X anyway. And I go for the Stealth Rocks, and he goes. Actually, I switch out, because this thing I was afraid would have Thunderbolt like the one that Ludus Life had, but he actually goes for Defog instead, so I was like, oh, god damn it. So here I think I just go for the Will-O-Wisp after he goes for Psyshock, and oh no, I go for Pain Split, never mind. I think it's the turn that follows where I actually go for the Will-O-Wisp on this thing after acquiring some leftovers. So he goes for Psyshock again, and it's doing a lot because this Latias is actually Life Orb, surprisingly. I go for the Willows here just to get some chip damage. I was able to wear down Latias, the one that Ludus Live used, so I figured, you know what, let's see if we can do this against Teslamouse. And I switch out here because I don't want Rotom taking any more damage, but he actually kind of predicts this actually pretty well, because he goes for the Draco Meteor here, and that actually would do a lot more to Skarmory than Psyshock would, so he actually made a very good play right there. Now he can just simply switch out, or Roost, because this thing can't really touch the Latios, honestly. My Skarmory. Like, it can only Iron Head it, so, and that's not really doing much. So he goes into Whisk Me Away instead. I go for the Roost, because I was thinking he'd probably... Oh no, he can't. But he could have Roosted, but I guess he just wanted to get rid of the -2. But I do switch out the Skarmory because I don't want to deal with anything. And he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, and I'm like, yeah, I think this thing is better off getting Will-O-Wisp, even though it's not good because now it just more than negates my leftovers. It also adds residual damage every turn, so that's not good, obviously. Here he's gonna Volt Switch, and he's actually gonna outspeed, get a crit with Volt Switch, and then here he goes into Checkmate, which is this Bisharp, and here I Volt Switch myself, confident he wouldn't go to the Hippowdon, and here I go into Lopunny. Now here I did anticipate him to switch, and because I anticipated him to switch, I went for the Substitute, but he goes into this thing, which honestly I was literally afraid would be Rocky Helmet, so yeah, I kind of just, because of the Substitute, I just switched out because I was like, I don't want to take any residual damage on this thing, so I figured, you know what, let's just get out of here. I decided to switch into Zygarde because this matchup is a lot more favorable for Zygarde than it is for Lopunny, so, but he gets the rocks up too, and that's kind of what I didn't want either. I did force him to switch out though, and I do go for the, I think, Glare? Yeah, I go for the Glare, paralyzing this Clefable once again. And here I make a dumb play, and I don't even know why I did it, honestly, but I just hard switch into Lopunny here. I switched into Lopunny, I don't know why, actually. I really don't know why. I guess I thought he would... No, there was no reason for me to go into it. I just went into it, and then I was like, oh, you know what, this is a bad idea, so let's just get out of here. And then Skarmory comes back, but now my Lopunny is weakened, so that's kind of really bad. So this thing takes the Moonblast as well. And here I think I tried to go for the... Oh no, he switches out actually, never mind. and goes into Chicago, which is this thing, the Zard, which I think is X, because back in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, there was always more Charizard X's than Charizard Y's actually. So yeah, and I think here I let Skarmory die because I didn't want to. I was gonna Whirlwind, I think, or Roar, I think, just in case he tried to go for Dragon Dance. Because honestly, this thing setting up Dragon Dance is just like the equivalent of Volcarona. It gets a couple Dragon Dances of, and then this thing just runs through your team, and that's not what I want. Once again, I go into Togekiss confident that I can not only take a Flare Blitz, but also probably just take a Thunder Punch as well if that's what he carries on this. But he switches out instead and goes to Whisk Me Away again, because this thing also can wall Togekiss, considering most of them don't carry Dazzling Gleam, and mine didn't carry it. In fact, this is the one with Hidden Power Ice actually, and Air Slash. So, and the other two moves was Roost and Tailwind. So yeah, and I went for Roost here because I had a feeling he was gonna Volt Switch, because that's Teslamouse for you, just doing his thing. Then Volt Switches. And here I think he goes into which is the Clefable, this annoying ass Clefable, the same one that's been pissing me off all these times that I battled Teslamouse. And here I just sack Rotom because I don't want this thing getting some kind of free chip damage. So he goes for Thunder Wave though, which is actually kind of annoying. And knowing that he has Thunder Wave, I just go into Volcanion regardless because I do want to get damage on this Clefable. I go for Sludge Wave, and I was in fact hoping that he'd probably just get paralyzed, but he didn't, and as a result I get Thunder Waved here. And I didn't want to switch into Lopunny because it was already weakened, and if I switch it one more time it might take a Moonblast and then I lose Lopunny for nothing basically. And that's not what I wanted. So here I just finish off the Clefable with a Steam Eruption. Thankfully I don't get paralyzed, so I take this thing out, which is really, really good, because this thing is actually the most annoying thing ever, and this is I'm just glad that I get to take it out all the time. Every time I get rid of that stupid Clefable, I definitely am super glad. Anyways, here he goes into Latias, the Fogs. That's like the most important thing he does here, is get rid of the rocks. And now I just Sludge Wave this thing, because he didn't Roost it. I actually did get rid of this Latias X once again, which is pretty good. So I got 2 Mons down. He goes into Checkmate now, and here now I have to lose something, because, or at least have something take damage, but I switch into Zygarde instead. And here I think, unfortunately, I made a few mispredictions. Okay, so he goes for the knockoff and just knocks off my leftovers, and here he goes for Iron Hit, and here I thought he was gonna switch out, so I went for Substitute again, but he ended up not switching out, so now I'm just weakened. The Iron Head doesn't bust the Substitute though, which is really good, and I do get to finish off this this Bisharp with an Earthquake. So I guess it's not all too bad, but the problem now is that he goes into Whisk Me Away, and he does try to Volt Switch, so I just stay in Dragon Tail. But again, this Dragon Tail is only gonna give me probably not the ideal matchups, and he goes into this thing, which I honestly tried to Dragon Tail again, I think. No, actually here I think I went for the Glare, cause yeah, I wanted to paralyze this thing to prevent it open, and I went for Dragon Tail instead of, wow. Then I went for Glare. Jeez, I'm getting tongue twisted here. I go for the Dragon Tail because I thought he was gonna switch, and he did switch, but I missed the Dragon Tail anyway. So, and then I went for the Glare on this thing because getting this thing paralyzed would be nice, so I can stop moving around, you know, because it's really, really annoying. And here now I go for Dragon Tail again because I was afraid that what he wanted to do was get the rocks up and phase me with Whirlwind. But here, as you can see, that Hippowdon did in fact have Rocky Helmet, and this is why I didn't want to stay in with Lopunny despite having a substitute. So I now switch out Zygarde just because, I don't know, I was kind of anticipating a Will-O-Wisp, and I did, surprisingly, because my what's it called was weakened already. He could have just Hydro Pumped it, but I switched out, and then I went for Roost here, I think, and then he got to go for another Volt Switch, I believe. The Rotom anyway. Togekiss goes for Roost, yeah. And then after the Volt Switch here, I think he goes into what's his name? Zardex. Yeah, he goes back into Zardex, and I think here I just let Togekiss die because, yeah, Oh no, I don't, not yet. I don't know why I'm preserving it though. I do sack Zygarde because yeah, this thing is definitely weakened and this thing is definitely not gonna do me any good. But much worse would it have been if this thing just went for the Dragon Dance. Thankfully he didn't though, he just went for the Flare Blitz. But he could, that was a risky play right there. But you know, I was kind of like a little bit behind. Or I wasn't in the best of conditions. Now here, I don't know what was I thinking. Here I send in Togekiss again. And then I just lose it to Flare Blitz. Like, I don't know why I switched in Togekiss. I was supposed to go into Lopunny. Yeah, I was supposed to go into Lopunny and just fake out. Or even Drain Punch, just predicting the switch. But I sent out Togekiss instead, and as a result, I think I needed Togekiss, because Togekiss could have done damage to the Can't Touch Me, which is this thing. Not to mention it was paralyzed, so I could have paraflinched this thing to death. But because I was dumb and did a bunch of misplays, I have to use Mega Weaken Lopunny here and just go for Drain Punch. I did predict him to switch back into this thing so that I die to Rocky Helmet, but here I'm just going for Drain Punches, and I'm just hoping he gets paralyzed as I get more, as I keep maintaining my HP intact with Lopunny and Drain Punch, but it didn't get paralyzed, so I just lose Lopunny just like that. And now here I believe I go into Volcanion, which is my last Pokemon, and it's paralyzed, which means which sucks, because now I basically just lose here, because this thing, I get to take out the Hippowdon, but he can just now go back into Zardex, which was never paralyzed, which was what I was trying to get paralyzed, but never got paralyzed. And now I just I lose that as well. I get outsped by it basically. And I would have gotten outsped anyways because it's Volcanion, but still. But either way, I actually like this battle, because this battle was actually really close. It was actually, it's much closer than a lot of the battles that I've had with Teslamouse, where I actually lose a lot. Because most of the times that I've lost to Teslamouse, it's always been 4-0s or 5-0s. I don't think there was ever a 6-0, but 4-0s and 5-0s I definitely know I had against Teslamouse. And they've always been just straight up, I don't know. Like, I felt like those losses were just too standard. So this one was actually a pretty good one. This was actually a good battle. I think this one, the outcome was a 2-0. I think he had Zardex, and I think Rotom Wash. There we go. Sheesh, I keep getting that confused. But yeah, 2-0. I lost, but it's a 2-0, so that's actually really good. This is actually a very good battle from Teslamouse here. But anyways, yeah, that's gonna be a good game to Teslamouse, and hopefully y'all enjoyed it. And yeah, have a good one.